Welcome to Gotta Run. This is Will Sanchez. Thank you for tuning in. My special guest today is Lama Hattab. She is the program director for Generations for Peace. Lama and her twin sister, Dima, were pioneers in distance running for the country of Jordan. They together entered a half marathon, one of the first Jordanian women to do so. They enjoyed the experience so much that the following year, they did something called the Dead Sea Ultra. Lama did the marathon, Dima did the ultra. Remarkably, they finished first in their respective races. Indeed, Lama set the course record for the marathon at that time. I am thrilled to have Lama as a guest.
Thank you, Will. Thank you for the nice introduction.
It's a pleasure. Wow, growing up in Jordan. I mean, most Americans know about Jordan because you're a very, very important ally to the United States.
Yeah.
Always in the news, especially when your king visits. And I think our president visited Jordan recently.
Barack Obama visited Jordan back then.
All right, good. Before we introduce you to our audience, let's introduce your country, Jordan, to remind our audience. So tell us about Jordan.
So we're a small country actually in the Middle East, in the heart of the Middle East, where most of the actually fires going around us. We're a very peaceful country, which most of the peace, let's say, initiatives started from our land. And we do have our king, Abdullah.
A constitutional
monarchy. And we do have a government which is based off the prime minister and then other ministries, which is aligned with the cabinet of the ministry itself. And of course, we do have the parliament and the cabinet of the parliaments, which is elected by the people within the community or the Jordanian people.
So women can vote there?
Definitely, yes.
Okay. Well, one of the big news that came out from that part of the world, Saudi Arabia, allowing women to drive. And next year, not right now, but they have to wait another year.
Yeah.
So are women have freedoms in Jordan?
Definitely, yes. So now I think that there is a stereotype which needs to be corrected here about how the Middle East or the Arabic woman has been seen, especially within this part of the world. So it's not about that we don't have our normal life or we're not allowed to practice actually our life similar to any other Western countries. Definitely no. Jordan is one of the most open countries, especially when it's come to the women's rights. So which I'm also very proud about. And so it's really important to understand that there's a stereotype which is not correct everywhere. So we as a Jordanian, there's a huge emphasis about the women's right in different aspects. Still challenging because the culture is a bit different, definitely. But what the government is doing and what the country is doing, promoting the women's right is really huge comparing to the countries within the region. So women can do. Definitely they can drive, if we can run in the street, that means that definitely we can drive a cars.
Okay, you can run in the streets, you can drive a car. Good. You're an Arab country, meaning you're Sunni primarily. Again, we always keep hearing the word Sunni and Shiite. And, I said, okay, who's Sunni? But you're primarily a Sunni country.
Yes.
And your language is Arabic?
Arabic.
Okay.
Yeah.
But English is also taught there?
Yes. English is the second language of the country, but most of the Jordanians speaks Arabic, of course.
Okay, of course. Let's turn our attention to you. So obviously you were born in Jordan. You have a twin sister, an identical twin.
Yes.
That must be considered a special gift anywhere, maybe in that country too, to have identical twins.
Definitely, I'm so glad that I have my twin sister. But the fact is that I never tried anything else other than having a twin sister is something else. But usually people keep asking us how it is when you have twins. My answer is that I never tried anything else. My twin sister Dima is my best friend as well. So we grown up together. We used to do everything together. Our running career started together. We went to school to the same school, same university. So until she got married and she moved actually here to the United States.
Oh, okay. So she lives here.
Yeah, she lives here.
Oh, okay. And you primarily in Jordan?
Yeah, I'm primarily in Jordan.
Oh, okay. Growing up, did you guys do a lot of running around? Was there a lot of athletics? in that country?
Yeah, back when we were like around 18 years old, 17 years old, we used to be in the national team, but for the short distance running. So we used to run 400 meters. Dima used to be, her specialist used to be 400 meters. I used to do 800 and 1,500 meters, all in track with the national team. We used to have a coach who, when she used to give us like a training for 5K, we used to go back home and crying, oh, she wants to kill us. And it was like really a huge distance for us. Back then, we didn't thought that we're going to be a marathon runners and we're going to end up not only running marathon, also doing ultra marathon races.
Right. As I mentioned in the beginning, you and your sister entered the half marathon. Were you tricked, or why did you enter that half marathon?
So it's a really funny story because we never actually thought about it. Our coach happened to be registering in the Dead Sea Ultra Marathon back then, and for some personal reason, she decided not to go. So she said, like, I'm gonna swap the name, just go there, do the race as a part of your practice. Just you're running as slow as you can and see how it's gonna go. Just enjoy the experience. So that was the first time we ever run any half marathon races or that long distance for us. So I came third in that race, and I really enjoyed that experience, the experience of like the endurance and just really being out there with yourself, having that run and enjoying the moment. We thought that, this is something which is totally different than what we used to do before. So we felt that, I'm so sure that every runner's had that feeling about what does marathon means to them and how that marathon really spiked the energy and that inner, let's say, voice inside all the runners about, oh, yes, this is what I want. So
and your sister, too, also wanted it.
Yes. So we both actually shifted to the marathon.
At that time, when you did that, you were only 18 years of age, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then that inspired you to enter the Dead Sea Ultra, which probably sounds funny to the American ear, the Dead Sea Ultra. You did the marathon, and Dima did the 50K.
So another fact of our beloved country, Jordan, we do have one of the lowest points on the earth. Actually, it's the lowest point of the earth, which is the Dead Sea. So the race was actually from Amman, the capital, which is like around 900 meters above the sea level, down to the Dead Sea, which is minus 400 meters down the sea level. So you can imagine all the downhill which you're running throughout that race. So there was just being part or saying to our friends and family members and our running colleagues, which happened to be all men back then, they used to tell us, no, you're going to be crazy if you're going to do the ultra marathon and the marathon. We just advise you to go for the half marathons, and you can take it gradually. But we thought that, no, if we can put ourselves on something, if we put our mind on something, we should do it. And the universe actually will help you to do it, because that was our belief and when it's come to all our sport and running career. So we just took the challenge, and Dima did the ultra marathon, which is the 50K back then, and I did the marathon, and we both came actually the first.
I know, amazing.
Which was a good surprise for everybody, but we really felt so good about it, and we got really encouraged to continue our ultra-marathon career.
But how did you train for it? That's not clear. You must have done something different.
Yeah, we used to have a coach who used to really take care of all the specific angle of the ultra-marathon race, especially when you're going and running downhill. So we used to do the course of the race several times. Every weekend, we used to go and have like half a marathon down there. But the unique thing is not the Dead Sea Ultra Marathon. What we had after the Dead Sea Ultra Marathon, the doors which opened to us after such a race was really huge, because we immediately started to think about how we can challenge ourselves more, what type of other races we can do where we can challenge ourselves, and at the same time show what women actually can do, especially two twin sisters, women happen to be from the Middle East, Jordanian, who can really run long distance running, and which actually in the Middle East we don't have. Back then, we never had any Jordanian female doing those type of races. So we've been actually called for a race in Jordan as well, which called the Desert Cup, and it is around the 168 kilometers non-stop race. From Petra to Wadi Rum, and the race actually crossed the desert, where you carry your backpack with all the food, equipment, everything you need, and you run along the desert if the start line, if the time starts in the start line, then the timing count until you finish the race.
Is the idea to finish that within a day or 2 days?
You can set your goal actually before you start the race. So we back then, because it was our first experience, we had the huge backpack covering all our back, 2 tiny female running in the desert with a huge backpack and full of stuff, very heavy backpack. We didn't have any idea how we have to prepare ourselves for such a race. Back then we thought of like, okay, if we finish the 50K by, let's say, around less than 4 hours, then we can do another repeat of that 4 times, so we can finish it within 1 day. But it was totally wrong calculation. That's where like lack of experience actually talk more than anything else. This experience really taught us a lot, which also encouraged us to repeat this experience more. And only less than a year after that, we took part in the Marathon des Sables, but with better preparation.
Okay. Also known as the Sahara Marathon.
Yes.
In Morocco.
In Morocco. One of the toughest races in the world.
Okay. Also known as the Marathon of the Sands.
Yeah, Marathon of the Sands.
Okay, but that's more than a marathon. This is a 6-day event where you have to carry, again, in a backpack, all your food and belongings.
Yeah.
So there's no water stations that like the people here in the United States are used to. You know, every 5 miles there wasn't somebody there with a cooling water. You had to do it by yourself.
Yeah. So we have to do it by ourselves. We carry our backpack, all our clothes, everything we would need to survive within those 6 days were in our backpacks. But the only thing which the organizer of the race used to provide us is actually bottle for waters, which is numbered according to your running number. So in case if you throw the water bottle in the desert, you get a penalty out of it.
Oh.
So even those type of things has been like really merged, thoughtful.
But you know, it is mind-boggling to think about running. You're running on sand, right?
Yeah.
This must be very slow going. You're not really running. You're more like jogging,
walking and jogging. It's usually when I like express that experience of running ultramarathon, especially in the deserts, because I'm coming from a country which is full of deserts as well, which is a privilege for us because we have a space where we can go and train, especially when it's come to Wadi Rum. Though the Wadi Rum is like around 400 meters away from Amman, the capital, so it's around 4-hour drives. You have to really take it slowly, and it's more about the strategy which you build and your mindset more than actually your physical training practice. Definitely you need to build your muscles with more kilometers to be able to handle actually the whole distance.
So you're saying mental toughness is important.
So mental toughness is the thing which really would carry you over this type of races, because you are in nowhere. You are in the middle of the desert.
Okay. But you had your sister with you.
Yeah.
So that helped.
Yeah.
But I guess people team up to support each other.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's a race.
So what happens when you got tired? You stop and put a tent together and went under and sleep?
Now, it depends about the races. The Desert Cup, you just stop wherever you want and you have some rest. But the Marathon des Sables, because it's stages, every day there's a start line and a finish line. So you return back again to the camp and you sleep in a designated tent which has been assigned to you, but with only eating the food which you have in your backpack.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you had to make those cutoffs. So the first day you have to do whatever it was, second day you have to do.
Yeah.
So it's a different challenge every day.
Yeah.
So you live day by day because you can't worry about tomorrow. You got to be.
Yeah. With an average of like around 35 kilometers a day, but there is one day which has a long run, which go up to around 80 kilometers across 2 days.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, you guys survived. You did it. So how did you feel meeting that challenge?
It is something which has really inspiring us a lot. We usually try to focus with a cause for all our run. So the Marathon des Sables, we were running for the peace in the Middle East, especially back in that year. It was really firing out there, and we wanted to actually put our voice together, me and my twin sister, for that.
That was after 2000?
And that was in 2000.
That was in 2000?
Yes, that was in 2000.
That's how you welcomed in a new millennium, by running across the desert for 6 days?
Yes.
Most people go to a party.
We believe that there is a role which we can do, and what we are doing could inspire other people as well.
Absolutely.
Especially that, again, coming female woman, twin sister, coming from the Middle East, running across the desert to pass a message, which was the peace in the Middle East.
Right,
Which,
peace. Yeah, that's a elusive thing.
That was really deep into our heart.
Okay, so we know about your athletic career. So in school, what did you guys study?
Us actually finished the same major. We finished IT, information technology, and I finished after that a master's degree in sport for social coexistence and conflict resolution.
Wait a minute, that's a mouthful. You got a master's degree in conflict resolution, and what else?
In sport for social coexistence and conflict resolution, because this is the major which I'm right now working on.
For Generations for
Yes,
Peace.
for Generations for Peace.
So which university did you get the master's?
I got my master's from the Open University of Catalonia. And I actually enrolled in an online course, and this was the first course which teaches this type of topic. This is the first, let's say, program which teaches sport as a social coexistence. It's not that much well known right now in different universities, but because I've been working on that, let's say, my experience in the field really helped me to pass this this course with really good results.
Wow. Yes, that's an unusual combination, but obviously very much needed.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got your master's degree. At this time, you said your sister got married and moved to the United States. So after the university, what was your next career move?
During actually our university time, we've been organizing a lot of charity marathon races, especially that we thought that, okay, we've been taking this experience and running in the desert, but not everybody in Jordan have that experience as well, or not that many youth actually can get that experience, especially that those races which was organized in Jordan, mostly they used to be like races, ultramarathon races, which not any normal human being can take part of.
Yeah.
So saying of that, we thought of like organizing a charity race in the Jordanian desert, Wadi Rum. And we did like a race to do fundraising for people who's in need, handicapped people who's...
what was the name of that race?
The name of the race used to be Jabal 20 Marathon. And that race was generate funding to support people, handicapped people.
Preparing for this interview, I think I remember reading the place it was held. It's a very, very beautiful place that, in fact, is used for many movies, starting with Lawrence of Arabia.
Definitely, yes.
To the most recent, the movie The Martian that had Matt Damon.
Yes, Matt Damon.
Two movies I happen to watch. I love, of course, Lawrence of Arabia.
So it's actually a good invitation, good time to invite you to visit my country as well, and maybe see that in live and come and visit all those really magnificent, let's say, sightseeing, either Wadi Rum or Petra or Amman, the capital, or the Dead Sea.
Well, I imagine tourism is very popular in Jordan. Also, I was reading medical tourism. Your medical is top rate, that people go there, to get the procedure and have a vacation at the same time. It's an amazing country.
Indeed.
Oh, you did another race, I think it was a relay called Dead to Red.
Yeah. Seems that you did your homework.
Well, when I see these names, Dead to Red, I bet that's a relay, because in the United States, there are a lot of races called something to something.
Yes, so it's a relay. This is, we would say that it's covered around 200 something kilometers, around 70 kilometers, from the Dead Sea to the Red Sea. So this is what's behind actually the Dead to Red. And this is the only two seas which have in Jordan, the Red Sea and the Dead Sea. So it's across the highway of the desert highway. And we team up like a team either of 10 or 5 and create your team, and the team run together actually to cover the whole distance.
Right, so you were a team of 5?
We were a team of 5, and then we ran a team of 10, women
and you guys came in first?
Yeah.
Excellent. What kind of prizes did they give you for that?
A trophy.
Trophy, all right. Everybody got their little trophy that...
Yes.
Okay.
Which represent
you must have a lot of trophies then.
I think, yeah.
Fascinating athletic achievements here. But now you're seeing that you have power to influence and empower other people and help other women, help children. Tell us how you became aware of Generations for Peace and what is Generations for Peace and so forth.
So actually, to cover as well, like part of my career path, I used to work as well with the Jordan Olympic Committee.
The Olympic Committee.
Yes, and back then we used to also organize. Jordan hosted one of the World Cross Country Championship in Jordan, and so me and my sister used actually to support the team in the Jordan Olympic Committee for organizing this race. And then after that race finished, Dima had to work with the Jordan Olympic Committee, and I have to actually move my career path to Generations for Peace. And Generations for Peace is actually used to be as well one of the initiatives which has started by the Jordan Olympic Committee, because our DNA used to be using the sport as a vehicle for peace building. And the whole organization was established back in 2007 and by His Royal Highness Prince Faisal Hussein. He's the brother of King Abdullah. His Royal Highness was really is a big believer about the power of the sport and how the sport really can bring people together. And from there, the organization has been established, and we started with really putting together how we can empower youth in taking a good role in change in their communities. So we're a grassroots organization focusing on volunteers, and it's a volunteer movement. So we train volunteers in how to actually bring positive change in their communities by empowering them and giving them the tool which they need in order to actually start those programs.
Interesting tools. So concentrating on the youth. The youth is our future.
Yeah.
And usually they can influence their parents as well, you know, if they're very passionate about what they're doing. So it's a very good idea. So which countries does Generation for Peace concentrate on?
Actually, we work in more than 50 countries.
How many?
More than 50 countries.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so since we started in 2007, we were focusing on really massively train number of youth leaders from those countries who have passionate for change, who really want to have a say in their communities and try to have a positive change within the community which they live, because they identify issues and challenges which they are facing in their normal life. So by empowering them by using different tools, we started by using sport as one of the vehicles for peace building, and then we thought that sport only might not reach to the mean of which we would like to reach to within those communities. So we opened up to art, advocacy, dialogue, and empowerment in different communities. So the idea behind that is that how to empower the youth to take the lead actually within the change which they would like to see in their communities. And we do believe that training alone for those, or giving the training for those youth leaders only, won't reach any impact by itself. So most of the work which we are doing as well, providing mentoring support for those individuals, for those youth, in order to actually walk the talk with them, and in the same time encouraging them to achieve the goals which they would like to see within their community.
I would imagine a lot of technology, you know, because there's 50 countries, you need good technology to talk to each other.
Our headquarters office is in Amman, in Jordan. So you imagine that from Jordan, we're actually going out to the world, and our staff member in our headquarters office is really doing an amazing job for that.
Where else do you want to expand the Generations for Peace? I mean, eventually the whole world.
Actually, it's not about being in the whole world as much as it's thinking really where we can have sustainable change. Because our focus more is toward having sustainable change, behavioral change within the individual which we're working with, so they can actually build a generation which can really cope with this fast-changing, let's say, environment which we're having in our daily life. So we base ourselves a lot on learning and reflection. So most of we do have as well the Generations for Peace Institute, which focus more about all the research which would combine our programs as well for bringing together the best practice, the practice actually for the field of the sport for peace and development, and or other meaning of how we can empower people.
Your organization is very important. Recently, you were at the UN, the Generation for Peace, bringing together lots of organizations, holding workshops and seminars. And, you know, how cool was that? You know?
Again, part of our mission of thinking of how we can build the learning which we had from the field
Yeah.
and how to actually bring it out to the world. So it's not only for us as Generations for Peace. We would like everybody to actually know more about what we are doing because we believe that if me and you can work together, that means that we can have better programming and better effectiveness in the field. But it's about like really joining all the efforts much more than that, than anything else.
Very cool.
And something else which we're really proud about that this year we was part of, we've been ranking as one of the 5 top 100 NGOs in the world.
NGO meaning non-governmental
organization.
So
we're one of the top 500 NGOs in the world. Our rank is 34 out of the 500, which is a very great number. And this year as well, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary for Generations for Peace, which actually summarized the whole journey from passion to impact. Because we do believe that all our volunteers, staff member, everybody who's involved in Generations for Peace have a huge passion to lead that change and bring more, let's say, peace to the community where they live, reduce violence and transform conflict in order to have better, let's say, communities.
Yes, you have quite a challenge.
Yeah.
Then to close up, what do you have personal challenges for yourself? Do you have a goal?
I'm aiming this April, hopefully, to join a team where we're going to go on the climb. I will not say that reach to the top of the Everest, but we're going to climb some mountains in Nepal for a preparation where we hopefully one day go and climb Mount Everest.
You and your sister together?
That was our dream back in 2009, but because it's a bit challenging for Jordanian women or women in general in the Middle East to seek for those type of, let's say, of challenge, especially that there's not enough sponsor for that.
Well, your parents must be both very, very proud and probably scared that you're going to climb a mountain like Mount Everest.
It is scary, but when you're a person who really seek for challenges and you always try to aim high, you try to find the reason why for every step you are doing. So like by going and climbing mountains, this is also a mission which we would like to show to the world, what the Arab women can do, what Jordanian women can do, and how actually the woman is as well as powerful as the male, and we can do things which also anybody can do.
I think women are much more powerful. But listen, on that note, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much, Will. Thank you.